And followers of the legendary Johnny Genesis North, we are releasing a must-have collection of Johnny North merchandise in our store at merch.ringsidereport.net, starting with our limited edition Johnny Genesis North 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. With a unique design capturing Johnny in action, this tee exudes raw energy and intensity through its versatile 3/4 sleeves for any weather. Stand with our legendary co-host, Johnny North. Make a bold statement in the wrestling community by getting yours today, exclusively at merch.ringsidereport.net.
The discipline of jiu-jitsu, the elegance of a perfect pour. Introducing the jiu-jitsu-inspired shaker pint glass. Crafted for the martial artist in you. 16 ounces of pure elegance, perfect for post-training refreshment or a sophisticated cocktail evening. Durable, stylish, versatile. Not just a glass, but a testament to your dedication. Celebrate your passion with every sip. The Jiu-Jitsu Shaker Pint Glass. Cheers to mastery. Available now in our store. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net and get yours now.
Strength in every sip.
Here's a programming note from the Ringside Report Network. Every Friday, join Dave Simon along with pro wrestler Johnny Genesis North as they break down the week that was pro wrestling on Wrestling Uncensored. Join them live starting after WWE Smackdown and during AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, or as an audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to share this broadcast and review our podcasts on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Why not become a member of the Ringside Report universe? Go right now before the show starts to membership.ringsidereport.net. That's membership.ringsidereport.net.
Each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, dive deep into the heart of MMA with Ringside Report MMA. Join seasoned analysts Dave Simon, Fred Garcia, and my good friend AJ D'Alexio as they dissect every fight, analyze strategies, and reveal their top betting predictions. From main events to prelims, our trio deep dives into the strengths, weaknesses, and potential game changers for each fighter. Looking to place a bet? Benefit from the expertise of our analysts and get an edge over the competition. Discover lesser-known facts, training camp secrets, and behind-the-scenes tidbits that only our seasoned crew can deliver. Share your fight predictions and be featured in the broadcast. For both new fans and longtime MMA aficionados, Ringside Report MMA is the key to unlocking a richer UFC viewing experience. Become an MMA insider. Don't miss out on our exclusive content. Subscribe now and ensure you ring that bell for timely notifications.
Before we dive into today's action-packed broadcast, check out ringsidereport.net. Explore a wide range of exclusive articles and commentary that are specifically designed for the fans of pro wrestling and MMA. Did you miss a broadcast? No worries. We've expanded them all on our website. And don't forget to hit our store for exclusive merch and other must-have items, ringsidereport.net. Where the real action is.
We've got boosted odds coming. Dave's picks, which means I'm going to give you picks, and on the site, it'll say, like, minus 200 or something, but then I'll call my buddies at Bet99. I'll be like, hey, can we give it a little better? And it'll be like minus 150, so there'll be more value.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to add value to the picks. We're going to get boosted odds at Bet99 for the Ringside Report universe. For all the viewers, we're going to give you picks, and then we're going to be like, there's a number here on this at Bet99, but maybe wait till Saturday morning, and there'll be a better number because we're going to give you those boosted odds. They're a sponsor, and I want them to do well, and they're helping the show and all of that, but at the same time, I want to give good picks and take them for everything they got, baby. But they got.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
it's a weird relationship because I'm friendly with them and I want to do well and I want them to do well, but I also want us to do well, and for us to do well, we need to take money from them, which is part of the whole. It's part of the game, and they like it, and it gets the boosted odds, and we'll see how much we can boost them for the viewers, so we can make a lot of cash. The Rock Laser Verbal Smackdown. It's time to acknowledge Wrestling Uncensored. Johnny North, acknowledge me.
I'm not going to acknowledge I've had it anytime soon. Wearing a Yankees hat, that's not going to happen.
I'm getting ready for baseball
good luck
season.
next
I'm
season.
getting excited.
Good luck. I don't know if it's going to work out too well for you, but good luck.
You seen pictures of Carlos Rodon? I bet you haven't, but I have. Looks tremendous. If you see pictures of Carlos Rodon last year compared to this year, it looks like a different man. Rodon is coming to play this year, John. I have faith in the Yankees. Strowman is pumped to be a Yankee, wearing Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts to spring training, looking very cool. Carlos Rodon is looking jacked, ready to throw heat. Garrett Cole always ready to win another Cy Young. Aaron Judge healthy. Jason Dominguez on the field doing baseball activities today after Tommy John. We're going to get the Martian back in the summertime. Juan Soto, now a Yankee. I don't know, John. I'm pretty excited about the Yankees' prospects this year. I'm excited about everything going on in Yankee land. I know that you're very pessimistic about the Yankees because you hate the Yankees because you're a Red Sox fan. But as a mega Yankee fan who's following the team very closely every day, very excited about everything going on, everything that Cashman is saying, everything that Booney is saying, hell-bent on a championship, hell-bent on victory. What manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone, is saying. Very exciting stuff. So don't get me started, John. I'm wearing a Yankee hat because I'm pumped for Yankee season. I'm getting ready. I am ready. Always ready. Go Yankees.
Well, good luck. But for all the non-Yankee fans, I'm sure they want us to talk about what just happened on SmackDown because that was pretty big.
We will talk about SmackDown for sure. You brought up the Yankees, John. I didn't say anything. You started saying, oh, Yankees no good. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm very excited here. What a season we have coming up.
Well, I just had to address Red Durst right here wearing the red hat, so I had to address that.
Keep rolling. Undertaker.
Rolling. Wrong way, but yeah.
The Undertaker. Hello, everyone. I'm glad that you have joined us. Thank you, Angela, who was gifted a membership already to the Ringside Report Network, and Franco316 has picked it up. So congratulations, Franco. Welcome back to the membership side of things over at join.ringsidereport.net, like Leor has done. Leor asking if we've seen the Iron Claw movie with Zac Efron. I did see it. It was pretty good. Did you see it?
I didn't see it yet. I could have seen the advanced screening, but what was happening that day? I forget exactly. It was like a Wednesday or something. Something was going on.
You're so fancy.
Well, you used to go to advanced screenings too, mister. You used to see a bunch of movies.
I did used to, but I don't so much anymore. I got other things to do. But I did go see that movie because it was a movie I wanted to see. So I went, and it was pretty good. Yeah, it was good. You should check it out. Dave is looking fit. Thank you, Jimmy James. You know? Jiu-Jitsu.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Thank you. I think it's still for sale at merch.ringsidereport.net. I believe we're still selling it.
Simple, it gets the point across.
Wrestling. What do you like?
So,
what does everybody need? What does everybody love? Wrestling. We should have a t-shirt that says head as well for the Al Snow fans. Okay, Johnny, we are talking. Hey, Angelo's gifted memberships left and right. Jimmy James just got a membership. Angelo. Still for sale, the t-shirt. You could buy this awesome t-shirt. I love this shirt. I wear this shirt all the time. Wrestling.
Again, simple.
You want to do wrestling? Do you like wrestling? Simple message for simple folk. The Ringside Report Network. Not simple, but you know what I mean.
It's good. It's a good plug. Gets point across.
There you go. Be cool like Dave. Okay. The Rock, the great one, the most electrifying man, the people's champ, is back in a major way. The Rock was looking majestic tonight. What an outfit. First of all, let's talk about the clothing, the attire of The Rock. Looking amazing. Looking so sharp. That shirt, vest thing he was wearing was like a throwback to what he used to wear, but with a new twist. There he is, the Dwayne, The Rock, with the shades, never took them off, never saw his eyeballs. And there he is with this awesome shirt, vest combo thing he had going, with the chains around his neck that I'm sure are very expensive, because The Rock is very rich and very famous and very powerful. He is The Rock. And he was magnificent tonight. He comes in. Let me set the stage for you, Johnny North. I'm going to break it down, and then you'll break it down for me. Applause are happening. I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Welcome.
People are happy for it.
New member, Ulrich Anderson. Welcome, Ulrich.
Good guy.
Is that Arn Anderson related? Oh, Angelo is dropping memberships. Oh, and Harold Schneider is gifting memberships. That's what's going on. That's what all the applause is about. CSL Lauren just picked up a membership. Doug Hepburn picked up a membership.
Welcome.
Ashley shows up. Ulrich Anderson. Well, welcome to all the new members of the Ringside Report Network over at join.ringsidereport.net. And thank you to Lior and Angelo for their generosity tonight, gifting a lot of those memberships. Very cool. Look at that. Members helping other members become members. Joining the team, being part of the Ringside Report family. I love it. Wrestling Uncensored here every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right after SmackDown. And what a SmackDown we had. I was so pumped for SmackDown tonight, knowing that The Rock and Roman Reigns were going to be on. I thought Cody was going to be on, but no Cody. I guess that's another time.
Well, they're taping SmackDown right now, right, for next week?
Yeah. So maybe Cody will make an appearance?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Yeah, they are taping SmackDown for next week because next week they'll be in Australia where they will have Elimination Chamber going down at 5 a.m. Eastern Time next Saturday.
Welcome.
So we will we'll break a little bit of the Elimination Chamber show down for you here tonight as much as we can. I don't think we'll be doing too much of a preview next week. I'm not sure when the show will be on next week, John. It may be on a little earlier. Right? Didn't we have a plan? I feel like we had a plan, but I forget what it was.
I believe the plan was to be a bit earlier because the Elimination Chamber is going to start at 5 in the morning. So
yeah, so we could do our show like an earlier in the evening preview show, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock, I think, next Friday.
Sounds good, yeah.
Stay tuned to the Ringside Report Network social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll let you know what time the show will be on next week. But I think we'll be on earlier because SmackDown is taped, and we want to break down the Chamber with enough time in between the show and the Chamber. Because if we do the show and then the Chamber's on like 2 hours later, it doesn't give a lot of people time to hear the preview and get ready for the Chamber, right? So we want to give everybody enough time in between the preview show and the actual Elimination Chamber show. So we'll do that next Friday, a little bit earlier. We'll say maybe 7.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think 7 is maybe 8. We'll see. 7 or 8. We'll let you know. Johnny, the task at hand is The Rock. The Roman Reigns comes out with the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy the Uso, Paul the Wise Man. Roman says, you people are pretty dumb here in Salt Lake City. Real dumb. And I don't want you to ruin tonight. This is an important night. I don't want you to act ridiculous when my cousin comes out here. Tonight is history because we can finally say that The Rock is a member of the Bloodline. Cue The Rock, who comes out looking like $10 million. Rock says, "Congratulations, tonight we've broken the indoor attendance record for the state of Utah. Not just Salt Lake, not just that arena, indoor attendance record for the entire state." And The Rock says, "Congratulations for being the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen." Turns on them immediately. It was beautiful. I started cracking up on the couch, just laughing. Oh, it was funny. Trailer park trash. He hasn't called people trailer park trash since the 90s, John. This was beautiful. This was old school Rock. And then he goes on and just continues to berate the people, which was really entertaining. He says, "Finally," and they start booing. And he says, no, don't boo. You're going to want to hear this. He says, "Finally, your life has meaning. Finally, you have a story to tell your 50 wives and your 600 inbred grandchildren," because he's talking to Mormons in the state of Utah who, some of them have multiple wives. So I think he's kind of poking at that, which was shocking to say the least. A guy starts mouthing off in the crowd. Rock says, "Shut up, fatty, or I'll slap the herpes off your lips," which was just off the cuff, crazy statement to be making. Highly entertaining. Hilarious. "Shut up, fatty, or the Rock will slap the herpes off your lips." I was like, what? What did he say? My God. And the crowd is at this point, they don't know whether to boo or to cheer or to laugh. Like they're entertained, but they know he's insulting them, so they're not sure what to do. Half of them are chanting Rocky, and the Rock's like, no, you don't get to do that with the Rock. It was incredible. It was so good. It was classic Rock, vintage Rock. He says, "This side of me has always been here, but it's coming out now because we had the biggest match in WrestleMania history, Rock versus Roman Reigns. But you let it go. You flushed it down the toilet. The same toilet that you sat your fat asses down on and tweeted, 'Hey, Cody's got to finish his story.'"
It all comes back.
Oh, God. Oh, he was saying so many things that, we've been saying and we want to say. I mean, we're not going to insult the people that much and be that graphic, but my goodness, was he saying a lot of things that I'm thinking. It was beautiful. And Rock says Roman lost last year. Roman beat Cody last year, and now Cody wants a rematch. That's his story. Rock says, the 49ers, they lost in the Super Bowl, and they don't want an immediate rematch. They have to start the season. They dusted themselves off, and they walked away. They didn't whine. Said, we got to finish our story. Rock says Michael Jordan came in and crushed the Utah Jazz, and the people hated it. And he says, no. But the Jazz didn't cry and say we got to finish their story. They dusted themselves off like men, and they moved on. And The Rock says, you don't get another shot at your story just because you want it. But the fans don't understand that because they're spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches. Rock says he's going to make sure Cody Rhodes walks out of WrestleMania just like he walked in, a loser. And the Bloodline is the most electrifying duo in all of the WWE and entertainment and sports entertainment. Last I checked, the Bloodline was a multiple-man group, but The Rock is changing the story here, and I think that's going to be part of Roman and Rock, and The Rock may be taking over the Bloodline kind of like he took over the Nation of Domination, where Roman would be the Farouk character in this instance. And The Rock says, if you smell, la, 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 and the crowd goes on with him. And he says, no, sing along with The Rock. You lost that privilege. And he says, if you smell what the Bloodline is cooking. And then everybody finger up, acknowledging to close the show. What an image. What a promo. Master class of how to do a pro wrestling promo right there. He comes in and everybody goes, hey, he's a part-timer. Why does he get to have the spot? Why does he do this? Why does he do that? Because he's better than everybody else. He looks better. He talks better. He's a bigger star. He's got more accolades. He's more respected. He's more revered than everybody else in professional wrestling today. He is the number one guy in the whole world of pro wrestling when he decides to dip his toe in. And he's one of the greatest to ever do it. He doesn't need Paul Heyman to talk for him. He doesn't need anything. He's not undersized. He's not believable as far as an intimidation factor. He looks the part more than most of them. He's gigantic. He's way bigger than Roman. He's bigger than everybody. And he's a bigger star than everybody. I'm on the Rock side. Always have been. I'm not going to say always will be, because you never know. Allegations always come out and things happen. I hope not for The Rock, but goddamn, pal, you never know. But we have been on the same wavelength on this, Johnny, since the beginning. For years, we have wanted The Rock and Roman Reigns. We have felt like The Rock and Roman Reigns is the story being told. As soon as Roman Reigns announced himself as head of the table, tribal chief, you clearly saw that, well, The Rock would be the end game of this whole story, the big boss at the end of it. And here comes The Rock, and we're setting it up, Roman and The Rock, and we're pumped a few weeks ago for that match, and the fans hijacked it, and the WWE buckled. I can't take the pressure. It's too much pressure. They buckled. And now we are where we are. Maybe we'll get Roman and Rock down the road. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year at WrestleMania. I think the silver lining to this, though, for us, Johnny North, is that we may get a lot more of The Rock than we initially were going to get because of all this. I feel like The Rock is incensed. I feel like The Rock is committed. The Rock is making several appearances, and I think the Roman Reigns Rock match is still something that they want to do. I think it's something that a lot of people want to see happen, Rock and Roman included. And I think at some point we will get there. Whether it's SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania, whatever, I think we're still going to get there. It's just going to take a little while. It seemed like we had a clear path, and now it's going to go on a little bit of a sidetrack, where Roman has to beat Cody again and shut everybody up, and then they can move on, and him and Rock can break up, and then we can have the match down the road. Whenever. They better do it. But I still can't believe we're going in the different direction. But The Rock tonight, John. Let's focus on the positives. The Rock tonight. Magnificent. Electrifying. Back to his old self. It's almost like he had hair again.
What? He didn't have hair, but I
know, but it's like that guy. You know, that guy was back.
Yeah, the throwback look is kind of cool. It's a nice little homage to what he used to be. And that was like one of the coolest guys, if you think about it. Maybe the best Rock we ever saw, arguably. My concern now is like, so what do we do with this? So it really seems like a tag match. I don't know about you. I'm not too excited for that. If it's one night, a tag match, the second night, it's going to be Roman and Cody. I feel a tag match at WrestleMania. I'm not too excited to see Roman and Rock against Cody and Seth. That's not something that really jumps out for me and like, oh, I got to see that match.
Nope.
Maybe it'd be nice for Elimination Chamber if they could pull that off. Maybe even a hyped up Raw or SmackDown, but not for WrestleMania. If anything, just give me the single matches.
Especially if we have like a clean finish, right? Imagine Seth and Cody win.
I can't see Seth winning.
No, but say they do the tag night 1, right? And Seth and Cody go over Rock and Roman. It sets up night 2 where you go, okay, well, they got their win night 1, and they're probably both going to lose night 2.
I suppose.
Which they should. I mean, if they win. And if they lose, I don't know. Bury Cody, because I don't think Cody's actually going to finish the story at WrestleMania. I don't think he beats Roman. I don't think he does. I know a lot of people want him to, but at this point it feels so corny. With Seth's promo this week, Cody, you don't have to fight alone. I love you. They're about to wrestle at Mania. They wrestled 3 times, and Seth lost all 3. Seth looks terrible in this, by the way. Cody beat him 3 times. Seth is now the world champion. Right. He has told Cody, in order to beat you, in order to know that I'm the best, I have to beat you because you are the best, Cody. Seth is the world champion on Raw, and he's claiming that his championship is the real championship of WWE and not Roman's. But at the same time, he's saying, Cody, you're the best. You're the best, Cody. I love you. Can I be your friend? You want to team with me? I want to be your friend. It's like, what a bitch Seth Rollins is. Seth Rollins is coming off like the biggest bitch in this whole thing. Crybaby bitch. Seth Rollins. Nah. Tremendous. Like, he's looking awful, Seth Rollins, in all of this. That promo he did on Raw, you don't have to fight alone, Cody. You have to do it. We believe in you. Like, he's a fan of Cody's now. There's no competition. You don't care that he beat you 3 times. Whatever happened to you're the best and I have to beat you to prove to myself that I'm still the whatever. Nothing there. So dumb. Seth bitch Rollins. Wearing his wife's clothes and shit.
They're going with the idea that he created a monster in Roman and he has to help take that down. That's kind of what he was going with. Sure.
Does he have to take down Dean Ambrose and the bad things he's doing to those lucha guys in AEW?
That doesn't exist in his world, so.
Well, I mean, when he hit Roman with a chair, he also hit Dean Ambrose with a chair, and Dean Ambrose is being pretty mean to those lucha fellas in the Dynamite matches there. Him and Claudio have been very rough with those fellas. Right? Daniel Garcia as well.
Yeah, FTR.
Yeah.
I know.
What, Seth isn't upset about that? Go handle that, Seth Rollins. Ron Moxley's being a bad guy over there, too. It's just dumb. Don't you think Seth looks bad here?
Well, he'll always look bad because there's someone who says he's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's undisputed, that means your world title means nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he always looks bad.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows it's the B title. Roman Reigns is saying it's the loser title, the loser division, the number 2s, you know? And that's what it is. And Seth even trying to make a claim is like, hey, my belt is more important because I defend it, whatever. When you go on TV and you say, Cody Rhodes, you're the best, and everybody saw Seth lose to him 3 times on pay-per-view, it's like, well, you don't really have any value anymore, Seth Rollins. He's really been devalued in this whole thing because he's just Cody's sidekick if they do a tag match. He's Cody's sidekick in his war with Rock and Roman. He really has no business being in that fight. Roman just kind of makes fun of Seth. Rock barely knows he exists. When Rock and Roman talk about who they hate, it's Cody Rhodes. It's not Seth Rollins. But if Seth is involved, he's Cody's sidekick. He's the little guy there with Cody, which devalues Seth and devalues their world title that apparently means nothing. Even though you're having an Elimination Chamber match to determine the Seth's opponent for that belt at WrestleMania. Whatever. And then Rock and Roman, I think their dynamic is interesting. And we talked about it a bit last week with The Rock kind of taking the lead and being the main guy. It makes Roman Reigns, who's been the main guy of all of WWE, look like a sidekick. It's an interesting dynamic, but at the same time, Roman Reigns says The Rock is joining the Bloodline. And The Rock is agreeing that he is in the Bloodline now. And the Bloodline is not, their family. The Bloodline is the group that Roman Reigns is the leader of as the tribal chief, head of the table. I don't think The Rock, character-wise, realizes that he's actually joined a group being led by Roman Reigns. I think The Rock is coming in saying, this is our group. Bloodline, I'm part of the Bloodline. It's you and me, Roman. We are running the show. And as we all know, there can only be one. It can't be, that was Jey Uso's whole thing. He wanted to do it all together, where they all run the show together. And Roman said, no, that's not how things go. And everybody agreed, that's not how things go. You have to have a number one. You have to have the leader. So you had The Rock. Now he comes in. He goes, maybe I'm the leader. And Roman Reigns is not going to be happy about that. So that's a conflict there, and that seems pretty obvious to me, that The Rock is going to come in and assume he's the leader of the group. But this group has been going on for a long time, and Roman is the champion, and Roman is the guy. So he's going to say, no, you're in my group. Fall in line. You and Solo and Jimmy, you stand behind me. When you point the finger up, you're acknowledging me as your tribal chief, Dwayne. And Rock goes, whoa. I didn't know that. And then they punch each other. WrestleMania 41 in Minneapolis or possibly Las Vegas, I'm seeing. Rumors of them pushing it to Vegas, which if you live in Minnesota, you're so pissed. You're like, WrestleMania's coming. It really felt like Minneapolis was getting it next year. And now all of a sudden, there are rumors that it might go to Vegas, which sucks if you live in Minneapolis, right? Imagine WrestleMania was coming to your town, and then they're like, no, somewhere else. Not great.
But it makes sense, because Vegas now has this Sphere now, so they want to have that big WrestleMania moment there.
No, you can't have it in the Sphere. It's too small.
No, but it wouldn't be there. It would be like the Hall of Fame would be there.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have... Yeah. Like
they could maybe do a SmackDown there or something. Or NXT, the NXT show or something in the Sphere, yeah. And then they have that big football arena that the Super Bowl was just in. They could do that for WrestleMania. Easily. Vegas does make sense in a lot of ways. But the rumor was strong about Minneapolis, and they were pushing hard for it. And they haven't announced anything, but you got to figure as this WrestleMania is coming up, they're going to start making those announcements and the official plans soon. And the fact that Vegas is coming in all of a sudden now makes me think, they're going to go to Vegas. They changed their minds. Makes sense. I'm not arguing. Is what it is.
Sucks for the UK. Remember they were talking with the UK like earlier last year, and then now nothing for them for WrestleMania. It's too bad.
Yeah. One day. I mean, wasn't that John Cena? Wasn't he the only one talking about it in that weird promo?
Well, and like how many times has he done that weird promo like throughout the years? Like, oh, the UK should get WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And there's a big like, oh, they should get it. And people talk about it. And then it dies. It never happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's just John Cena being a babyface in the UK. Right?
Much, yeah.
So that was nice. Do you see it how I see it, though? Rock Roman kind of battling for who the real leader is, and The Rock kind of assuming that it's him, and Roman assuming that it's him, and then they eventually realize, like, wait, you think you're the leader? I'm the leader. And then they fight.
You're going a little too far ahead here. Like, that's not going to happen now. What's going
No,
to happen after the whole Cody thing?
Yeah. That seems to be the direction, like, going forward, and there are rumors for maybe SummerSlam or next year's Mania where The Rock and Roman would have their match. Does that mean Roman holds the belt for another year?
I'm not opposed to that. I don't mind that idea. I mean, it kind of makes sense that The Rock can help him carry the title for another year at least.
It could happen. If The Rock is going to be around, too?
It just sucks for Cody. I mean, I get it. You're not a big fan of him finishing the story, but, like, he doesn't win at this WrestleMania. It's hard to believe he's ever going to win.
Yeah. Which is why I wanted Rock and Roman to just do it here. Be done with it, have Roman win, and then Cody could beat Roman at SummerSlam or next year's Mania.
Right.
But now they've screwed that up. I think the Cody fans have screwed Cody long term, and they don't actually know it. By rooting for Cody and pushing for Cody to get this match with Roman at Mania, I think they actually have made it so that he will never finish the story.
I hope not. I think it would be great for him to do it. I think it would be an awesome moment, but it doesn't look promising in a sense. Because I could see them with The Rock. He said, like, there's no way Cody's walking out as champion WrestleMania, so I would imagine The Rock will be able to deliver on his first promise at least.
I mean, he says he's going to do everything in his power to make sure Cody doesn't win.
Right.
I mean, come on. He's got a lot of power. It's The Rock. He's on the board of directors.
Well, also, he's just starting this heel run. So his first promise, I think he's got to deliver on at least. That shows you the fear and the power that he has, and you have to overcome that. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense for Cody not to win.
Oh, I'm going to laugh so hard when Cody doesn't win and all the Cody crybabies cry about it. Crying because your favorite wrestler didn't win a pro wrestling match.
I mean, it's happened before. It happened last year in a sense, too. So,
yeah, people cried about it last year. And I laughed about it last year because I assumed Roman would win.
And he did.
And he did. And I was a little surprised that so many people thought he would not win. And the reaction was funny. And it will be even funnier if Roman wins again. Because the reaction will be even more angry. People will be very pissed if Cody loses again. And it would be the funniest thing they could do. I would laugh so hard if Roman just beats Cody again. Beats him clean this time, I think, is the move. Or maybe The Rock does something, you know?
I'd expect a lot of interference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good to see The Rock on SmackDown. We don't know if we're going to see him again, though, right?
I mean, the best part of SmackDown, I don't know about you, I thought SmackDown, for the most part, had star power, but very sloppy, the matches, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't great wrestling on this episode of SmackDown. We open up the show with Kevin Owens versus Dominic Mysterio for a spot in the Elimination Chamber. Thankfully, Kevin Owens did win with a pop-up powerbomb and a little distraction from R-Truth, but it wasn't a great match. But what do you expect when Kevin Owens has to wrestle Tom and Nick Mysterio?
It's really the best it could have been.
That's what you
get.
It
wasn't that bad, but it wasn't anything amazing.
It wasn't great. Drew McIntyre and LA Knight had a little backstage confrontation. They're going to be having a match on SmackDown next week as they get ready for the Elimination Chamber. Tiffany Stratton got a win over Zelina Vega to qualify for the Elimination Chamber there.
It was a rough finish.
Rough moonsault. The legs landing right on Zelina's stomach, but hard. Just the velocity of that moonsault was really I don't know how she even does it. Like, how does she get that much like torque as she lands on the moonsault? She just lands real heavy, and that looked painful. You could see the ref checking on Zelina. Told Tiffany to get out of the ring too. As soon as Tiffany won, she's like, get out of the ring.
I don't think it was because of that. I think it was because of the spot at the end.
With Legado del Fantasma ringside there. They had to do a stare down with the groups.
Yeah. I think it was mainly for that. But
I think
still,
you're probably right. But the finish of the match was really bad looking. Not as bad as what Sammy Guevara did to Jeff Hardy on Rampage.
No.
But it was pretty bad. It was a pretty rough-looking moonsault that could have been worse. I hope Zelina is okay, but it was a rough landing. What happened there, John?
I feel like, well, two things kind of happened. One, she kind of undershot. She didn't get full extension on that moonsault.
Mm-hmm.
Two, Zelina kind of turtled a little bit there. She kind of pulled in.
Yeah.
So I think it made it even worse. So, damn. Hopefully she didn't injure herself or anything like that, because you see stuff like that and it's very easy. You just injure your arm and you could just maybe pull something easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the match wasn't anything real special. The Good Brothers and Michin wanted to know what was up with AJ Styles, why he's not, involved with them, and AJ got in Carl Anderson's face and he hit him and they kind of had to get pulled apart there. What is this? AJ Styles is feuding with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows now? Who wanted this?
What else is he doing? I mean, he's not in the chamber. He's not feuding with anybody, so that's what he's going to do now, is just feud with his brothers.
Why?
He's got nothing else.
Okay. Is he going to get a partner? Is he going to be a tag team man for a bit?
The Lone Wolf, I think. The new Baron Corbin.
Weird. I don't like it. I did like the Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Asuka promo. They're speaking in Japanese. There was subtitles. I thought it was a solid video package promo that they did. Talked about Bayley and how they are the new Damage Control. And Asuka and Kairi warning Dakota Kai that they're coming for her too. And they say in English, no one is ready for Damage Control. So they are still calling themselves Damage Control, even though Bayley and Dakota are out of the group. The original Damage Control, Io, Bayley, Dakota. And now it's Io, Kairi, and Asuka, with Bayley out of the group and possibly Dakota out of the group, although that's not clear because they're saying that they want to attack Dakota, and Dakota is saying, hey, Bayley, I want to, be your friend and team up. We got to help each other because they're coming after us. And Bayley says, yeah, but you were talking behind my back this whole time, and I know you said you didn't know they were going to attack me and everything, but I don't really trust you, so I can't help you. So Dakota's kind of on her own, and I'm not sure where it's going. Is it going where Dakota legitimately is going to get attacked by them, and Bayley will have to make the save, and it'll be Bayley and Dakota against them? Or is Dakota just playing Bayley, and you think, Damage Control is going to attack Dakota, but really Dakota joins Damage Control and they all beat down Bayley. I don't know. I'm not sure where Dakota is. Bayley's not trusting her, and I'm not sure if we should either, John. Do you trust Dakota Kai? I think it would be a smart move to put her in Damage Control just to speak English for the group.
Right.
Bayley can do her own talking.
Yeah, I think Dakota probably will turn on Bayley eventually. She's going to get suckered in at some point.
Yeah.
But I thought this was kind of disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really feel like there was much progression in this story. It's one of the better stories they have, but they didn't really give us much going into this. It felt like they didn't have a lot of time, and they didn't really add much in terms of progressing the story. It's a lot of like, well, we're pretty much at the same spot.
Yeah.
Just there was a little promo, and like Dakota and Bayley had a little interaction, but not much. Not much has changed at all. So I was kind of disappointed with this.
They had to get a lot of Elimination Chamber stuff ready to go, though. They had to set up several matches tonight, and they had The Rock and Roman Reigns in a big, long promo. So they were short on time. And post-Chamber, we have more time to focus on Bayley and Damage Control and Dakota because we're going to be going towards WrestleMania, going towards that match. Right now, we're not, really headed towards their match. We're headed towards some other stuff at the Chamber. I get why we kind of put a pause on that, but it's still around. At least they still gave us a little something, I don't think you need a ton of progression in that right now because we're going to have a couple months to deal with it. A month at least, right? Month and a half.
I'd at least have them involved at Elimination Chamber in some capacity. That story is not involved at all. I mean, they put Seth and Cody on Elimination Chamber just being a crappy segment, but they're still there.
Yeah, they're going to be on the Grayson Waller effect doing a promo together.
Terrible.
That's, not great for the
But
Chamber.
At least they're there.
I guess. The AOP squashed a couple guys. So they were on TV. They'll wrestle the Street Profits next week in a real match, so that's good. Logan Paul wrestled The Miz. Logan Paul beat The Miz after something. I don't even know what to call the finish of this match. It was ugly. This match was awful. This match was very bad.
Logan Paul's worst match.
Logan Paul proves that you can be a celebrity and a great athlete and be able to do all sorts of cool wrestling moves and backflips and offense and everything, but still be a terrible pro wrestler. Like, he's got a lot of the elements. He's got the look. He can talk. He's very famous. He can flip and stuff. And he's athletic. And he's got a legit boxing background, kind of. But he's a bad wrestler. He's just, his selling is non-existent. And when things go wrong, he's got no improv ability. He has no ability to fix things on the fly or make things work in the moment. And we've seen this from him a few times now. There was that terrible botch with Ricochet where they almost died, and Ricochet kind of had to save them so they didn't die. And tonight, Logan, he hit something, and then he went for a standing moonsault. He hit a crossbody off the second rope or the top maybe on The Miz. And then he goes for a standing moonsault immediately and just completely fell apart. Was not even close to Miz. Goes for the backflip, just misses him. And then Miz kind of grabbed him and tried to roll him up. And Logan wasn't going with it. And the match looked like it could have just ended there. They could have just both said, you know what, guys, we're not good at this. Sorry. Bye. It felt like Logan kind of gave up. He kind of went, "Aw, man. You can't do that. It's live TV, pal. A lot of people watching. You can't just go, that was bad. No. And Miz did not save it. could not save it. Did not save it. I don't know what he was trying to do. Why would you get hit with a crossbody, see a guy almost moonsault you, you land no offensive maneuvers, and then you're trying to pin him? Why are you trying to pin him? It was horrible. It was so bad, and the match just kept going and was so bad going on. Logan grabs the ring apron to distract the ref so he could poke Miz in the eyes, and then he hit his skull-crushing finale, but it was just a 2 count because, hey, we gotta have false finishes in this piece of shit match. And then Logan goes and gets brass knuckles from one of his friend ringside, but Miz catches the brass knuckles and tosses them away. All sorts of nonsense with the brass knuckles and the Miz, and he stopped it. But then Logan, back in the ring, just kind of punches Miz in the face. And I guess Miz is supposed to be knocked out, but the announcers weren't sure what was going on. Miz just kind of hugs Logan, and Logan kind of stands with him and says something like, "I'm going to the chamber, baby!" And then just falls with Miz on the mat and pins him. And the announcers were like, "Oh, that was a skull-crushing finale, like a reverse skull-crushing finale." No, it wasn't. That was him hugging Miz, and then falling forward slowly, and then pinning him for no reason. Other than that was apparently the finish of their terrible, terrible match. On a SmackDown that was really ugly, where Tiffany Stratton almost killed Zelina Vega on the finish of their match, this match, even when Dominic Mysterio is wrestling on TV and Naomi's titties hanging out, this match was the fucking worst match. You see, Naomi's nipple was out her whole match. Like, what the fuck, Naomi? You got to get some new gear. You got to fix that. It's Fox. You can't do that.
I thought Tiffany was having wardrobe.
You didn't notice with Naomi? She had like half her nipple out, half the match. It was crazy. Anyhow, go back and watch. Or don't. Whatever. I'm just saying Naomi will probably get a fine for that. Logan Paul and The Miz had the worst match on SmackDown, by far. It was one of the worst matches I've seen in the WWE in a very long time. I mean, when Logan Paul and The Miz are in there, I go, oh, this is not going to be good. I know they've wrestled before, so maybe they can salvage something out of it. Wrong. Garbage. Horrible. That moonsault that he screwed up, and The Miz was like, what do we do? How long has Miz been a pro wrestler? I don't even want to put it on Logan Paul for being garbage because he's had maybe 10 matches. Miz has wrestled for a decade at least. This is the best effort when things go wrong? My man. I mean, anybody who's watching, any trained eye or the untrained eye, they're watching, they're going, yo, what happened? Commentary couldn't even save him. And the finish? Jeez. Commentary tried to save the finish, but they couldn't because everybody saw it.
I think it just goes to show that the Logan Paul had really good workers in the past that he wrestled, and I think The Miz, when he has a match that's big and he practices very hard for the match, it can turn out okay. But when it's a match just like out of nowhere like this, it can really go awry very quickly, sadly. And this is one of those matches that just got away from both of them. And like you kind of said, I feel Logan kind of gave up on the match, and that hurt a lot.
It did feel like he quit on the match when the moonsault didn't go well. He just went, You can't do that. You got to fix it. Get it back on track. If anything, when stuff like that happens, you have to go above and beyond to make people forget what just happened. You have to do some amazing shit that makes people go, yeah, he botched that moonsault, but yo, did you see the rest of the match? It was crazy. But that's not what happened. Like, you can forgive a botch. if everything else is good, or there's other moments that are salvageable. It's about creating moments, right? That's what they always say. And when the key moments of your match are a botched moonsault and a botched finish, those are the moments that you leave to the fans. You got to do something else. Give us another moment. It can't be your buddy with fucking brass knuckles again. No one cares. So bad.
A lot of that was inexperience, and you can't expect the Miz to carry a guy because it doesn't work. I mean, that's what we saw. It just doesn't work.
Oh, that's pathetic. Such a bad wrestler.
And it's almost 2 decades, by the way. He's been wrestling in this.
It's ridiculous. Well, maybe it's time to retire. I mean, it's not like he's past his prime. He never had a prime. He's awful. He's always been awful. I wonder what he's done to keep his job over the years. Braun Breaker is fun to watch. I like him. He was with Jade Cargill, with Nick Aldis, trying to sign some SmackDown contracts, and eventually Braun Breaker did sign a contract with SmackDown. They came out, and Nick Aldis presented Braun Breaker, new signee to SmackDown, which confused me a little bit because I thought they were working towards Braun Breaker versus Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, but Gunther's on Raw.
Yeah, but they can still do that. I mean, we're seeing Raw versus SmackDown now, right?
Yeah.
WrestleMania, you can still do that.
We're seeing it now because of the chamber and everything, but I don't know. One of them would have to show up on the other guy's show to set something up now. Like Gunther would have to be on SmackDown or something, which could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting Jey versus Jimmy. They're on different shows. That's going to happen at Mania, so they can do this kind of match. It's fine.
Okay. I could see Braun and Gunther. I mean, I would like it, but maybe Gunther loses the Intercontinental Championship to Jey Uso coming up Monday night on Raw. They do have a match for the belt. If they are doing Jey versus Jimmy, maybe you put the Intercontinental title on the line.
It's not a bad idea. I just feel if Gunther is going to lose, it'd be at Mania, I would think, not just a random Raw.
Why does it have to be at Mania? Why do all the big wins have to happen at Mania? There's going to be enough big events that happen at Mania, like especially if you're setting up something for WrestleMania, right? Because I think we both are figuring that Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, probably a WrestleMania match. It makes sense for both guys.
Right.
But putting the Intercontinental title on it gives it a little something extra that maybe it needs at this point.
I don't disagree with you, but I feel if Jey goes in against Jimmy, he's probably winning. And if we're having Roman retain, I think you need some makeups in a sense where at least the fans got something. The IC title change in hands, I think, would be a part of that makeup, especially if Gunther's over 600 days reign comes to an end. I think that's a bit of a makeup for the fact that Cody doesn't finish his story.
I don't think Braun Breaker ending Gunther's run, a guy who hasn't even been in the WWE 600 days, how does he break the Intercontinental title streak? You know, how does he get that spot? He comes in, he gets this great spot right off the bat. I don't know if the fans will rejoice in that. They may reject it. So,
they might.
I feel like if you ask me who I like more, Gunther or Braun Breaker, I'm rooting for Gunther all day. But if you go Gunther or Jey Uso, I go, well, I like Gunther, but I kind of got a soft spot for Jey Uso. Who doesn't? It's just him, Oos. Day one-ish. Just him, Oos. So, I like Jey Uso. Everybody likes Jey Uso. Jey Uso's never going to be as over as he is right now. Crowds are going nuts for him. I think it'd be a good way to get the WWE Universe buzzing on the week of Elimination Chamber You get Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental title on Raw. Main event of Raw, set it up as a big match. I think you could do it. And then you continue a bit of a Imperium versus Jey Uso and the New Day on Raw, which is not bad.
Well, I already saw it. I don't need to see it again, to be honest.
Yeah, but, he has them as backup type of thing, He needs those guys. He needs somebody. I'd like to see Jey Uso win the Intercontinental title on Raw this week. I'm not sure it's going to happen. It would be kind of a shock to see Gunther, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, just drop it on an episode of Raw. But it is WrestleMania season, and crazy things happen when we are setting up the biggest show of the year. And maybe they decided they don't want to do Gunther versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Maybe they decided they want Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso for the Intercontinental title instead. Could happen. We'll see. We will see. Naomi beat Alba Fire. And Naomi, she was having problems with her gear. You could clearly see, like, half her nipple was out there for most of the match, which I think is not allowed in WWE. I'm not really sure. But generally, it's not something. It's not something you see. No, it's not intentional. Obviously, it wasn't intentional. But they are in charge of their gear and making sure that everything is covered when they go out there. So sometimes you get fined for stuff like that. I don't know if she will. Hopefully not. It was an honest mistake. It's really nothing shocking or anything. It may have been a little embarrassing for her. I don't know how she feels about it. But clearly, something was out there a little bit during the match. It seemed obvious to me, like, pretty quickly in that match. It was just, probably new gear that didn't fit the way she thought. And it was out there, like, usually, that happens. We've seen it happen a million times in wrestling. Something's showing, they do a little adjustment, they fix it, it goes away, and it's fine. Sometimes, the gear starts falling off again, they got to adjust again, whatever. It's common in wrestling, but Naomi, wasn't able to kind of adjust the gear to the point where it fixed at any point. So it was just kind of out there for the duration of the match, which was uncommon. You don't see that very often. Usually you see, oh, what was that? Was that her? Did her nipple just pop out? And then it's like, yeah, but, she adjusted it, and it was there for half a second, and you'd have to be a real creep and pausing and going back. But I was just watching the match going, every time they shoot Naomi, they cut away because they see it too. They see the nipple, and they're like, oh, it's still out there. Let's see Naomi. Oh, let's cut away. Nipple again. You could see it by the cuts, too. They're like, oh no. Ah, boy. Charles Robinson is the referee there. He's got to let her know. Her opponent should. I think her opponent there, Alba Fire, was trying to let her know, but what are you going to
do? It's unfortunate, but it happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't do anything about it, too. Like Charlotte happened, too, if not mistaken. Her top just came off.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I think that happened to her, too. I mean, things happen, right? They're wearing those kind of small tops, and they're wrestling and doing all sorts of stuff, and they get new gear made all the time, right, to look fresh and new, and right? So sometimes something new, you don't know exactly how it's going to work. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? It happens. Part of pro wrestling, especially with women, they have more things to cover up. More things that they're in charge of to cover up. But they're also encouraged to, show a lot of them, but not everything. It's part of the... It's part of the gimmick, brother. Nevertheless, Naomi did qualify for the Elimination Chamber, as has Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, Becky Lynch. We are waiting for the final participant to be revealed for the Women's Elimination Chamber match, where the winner will take on Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title at WrestleMania. And I think Shotzi was supposed to wrestle somebody maybe tonight.
She's supposed to wrestle Tiffany.
Oh, okay. But Tiffany wrestled Zelina instead and beat her. So Shotzi is injured, so she's not going to participate in these qualifying matches. So who is the fifth or the sixth participant?
Well, I felt that Jade would be the best one, but apparently the rumor is they don't want to put Jade in this kind of situation if she's not going to win. So,
yeah,
that's kind of a bummer. They might do the whole, all the losers do like a battle royal or whatever. I can see that happen on Raw.
Okay. Yeah, I got no guesses as to who it might be. Could be anybody.
I don't think it's going to be anyone top tier. They don't have anyone top tier left. It'd just be a random thing. If anything, just maybe a surprise from NXT. I could see that.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know who they might.
Asuka would be great.
Throw in there. Asuka or Kairi Sane
would be great, but I don't have to do that.
No, I don't know why, but I'd like to see it. I don't know. They're not on this show at all.
No.
So
it's weird.
Yeah. So we know 5 out of the 6. I'll tell you why, John. No, wait. Are they running house shows next week? I'm just wondering, because sometimes they run house shows at the same time, but they're not.
Not next week.
No, when they go to Australia, I think the whole crew is, I don't know if they're going to bring everybody, but it's not, sometimes they run like a pay-per-view overseas, whatever, and then they'll do a house show in the States at the same time. So that might explain why some of the roster is not booked, but they're not doing that this time. They're just doing the pay-per-view next weekend in Australia, so not running any other shows at the same time. So it's not like they're not available because they have to be somewhere else. So maybe we will see Asuka or Kairi. Say it again?
I saw Franco wrote Nikita Lyons, but she apparently got injured again, so it will not be her either.
Yeah. I heard she got hurt again, too. Though. She just came back from an injury, too, right?
A lot of these women get hurt and then get hurt again. It's happening a lot in NXT. I don't know what's wrong with the water there or something, but
I've heard that they just overtrain them.
It's possible.
They're run down because they're overtrained.
They should look into that and maybe change up the training.
Yep. I think so. Seems like that's the what the hell?
Oh, you said something.
I don't know what I said.
Your friend. Something you said.
All right.
She heard that.
Okay, Alexa, stop. How was that? All right. We know
Bliss
about
is not around.
Was it what?
Thank goodness Bliss is not around.
Well, maybe she is. Maybe that was a sign, John. Maybe she's coming back for the chamber.
She'll be the last spot. Yeah.
I can see that. Men's chamber, though, we know all the participants. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul.
Wow, all SmackDown except for Drew? Wow, okay.
That's true.
Interesting.
All SmackDown except for Drew, and it is for a shot at the Raw champion, Seth Rollins. And we did expect Drew to win this thing.
It's nice to have star power in it, but one Raw guy, looks bad.
It does, right?
A little bit.
Seems a little obvious. We have one guy, Drew McIntyre, who's been steadily feuding with Seth Rollins on Raw. And then we have 5 other guys who have nothing to do with Seth Rollins. I wonder who's going to win this chamber match to face the Raw champion, Seth Rollins. Will it be these 5 SmackDown guys who have no business with Seth Rollins and really no interaction with him? Or will it be the one Raw guy who's getting a push, who's cutting promos with Seth on Raw?
Yeah.
So Drew McIntyre, Becky Lynch will win the Elimination Chambers next week. It is a obvious conclusion to make. Drew will face Seth at WrestleMania. Becky will face Rhea at WrestleMania. The chamber matches are set, are done. There is really no reason to watch Elimination Chamber next week. The Rock's not going. Roman Reigns isn't going. We know who's winning both chamber matches already. Cody and Seth are going to do a stupid promo segment with Grayson Waller. There's no reason to watch this. Rhea Ripley's wrestling Nia Jax like she's going to lose in her home country, gearing up for a match with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. It's not like anybody's going to win this Elimination Chamber and go on to face Nia Jax for the world title at WrestleMania. That's not happening. So, I don't see a reason to watch this pay-per-view. There's no reason to get up at 5 a.m. to watch this thing, that's for sure. 4 matches so far announced, and it's the Women's Chamber. Becky's going to win, obviously. Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax. Rhea's going to win, obviously. Men's Chamber, Drew McIntyre. And then we have the tag team titles on the line. Finn Balor and Damian Priest against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And I don't think Finn and Priest are losing to these guys. And even if they did, I wouldn't care. Because those tag team titles are completely irrelevant. No one cares about them. They don't do much with them. Once in a while they defend them, but the tag team division is basically non-existent right now. They have some tag teams, but they don't really have a strong division where teams are competing and you're having good tag team wrestling. It's not really happening. So this match is pointless, and I don't even want to see it. And I think Finn and Priest probably just win because they're not going to lose a match here heading into Mania.
I understand your point here, but Elimination Chamber last year for me was like the best PLE of the year. So biased since I was there actually in attendance, but
yeah, and it was actually pretty good. Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, that was a cool main event. Roman Reigns wrestled last year.
He did, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Lashley wrestled like
Brock
a Shadow
Lesnar.
now, I guess.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
I was going to say Shadow, but sure.
No,
yeah,
we
that
can
happened.
say
that
the
was...
names that they don't want to say. We can say Brock Lesnar. We can say Vince McMahon. We can say Chris Benoit on this show, John. We can say all the names. We just can't talk about them in a nice way because they're not nice.
We can still talk about Edge. I thought Edge had a great match with Beth, too, as well.
The Rated R Superstar. He had a what?
It was Edge and Beth against Finn. That was a cool match, I thought.
Against who and Finn?
Rhea.
Oh, yeah. Why are you talking about that match?
I thought that was a very good match on the show.
What show?
Elimination Chamber last year.
Oh, yeah. That was on Elimination Chamber last year. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You were there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was good. I mean, Chamber was good last year. It was,
a very good show.
Yeah, it was one of the best shows of the year, if not the best. But this is not stacking up to be as good, and I never expected it to be because it's on at 5 a.m. This is for Australia to get a show and to say, here you go, you get a big event. This is the one that you're going to get. Enjoy it, but it's a glorified house show with 2 chamber matches. House shows you go to, and you know who's going to win before the matches start because, it's all going to be nice and easy and predictable. And that's what this chamber is. It's an elimination chamber with a house show feel. You have all these participants, It's like at house shows they have world title matches. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the world championship. And you're like, okay, Seth is going to win because they're not doing a title change here. And that's what the chambers feel like. Like, all right, guys, we know who's winning. Let's just do it already. It's a glorified house show. The Elimination Chamber, that's what they're doing for Australia. And that's what they do for a lot of these international PLEs, John, and you've noticed it too. It's a lot of, let's make the fans happy, let's give them a nice show, let's have some good matches, but nothing of consequence is actually going to happen here because when things of consequence happen, we need the North American audience to be awake and watching it. It can't be 2 a.m. West Coast time, 5 a.m. East Coast time when you're running these shows and expect people to watch them because big things are happening. Nothing big will happen because the WWE has some respect for their audience, and they're not going to give us anything that major because they know we'll all be sleeping. It'll be wasted. And that's really the main point, is that you waste doing something good at 5 a.m. because no one will watch. Give the Australian fans a fun show with Pyro and Rhea Ripley, and they'll be happy. Happy enough, you hope. But I don't think it's a big deal, this show. This year, they changed it up. It's not a big deal. Rumble was a deal. WrestleMania is a deal. This is a nothing show. This is a throwaway.
Well, looking at the card, a lot will depend on the quality of the chamber matches. The chamber matches are good. I think in the end, it'll be an all right show.
Yeah, but don't you think that it totally sucks going into the Elimination Chamber where you know who's winning both matches? You know.
You knew the same last year, too. Same thing. You knew Asuka was going to win.
Did you know last year, though?
I'm pretty sure if you look back on our show last year, we both said Asuka and Austin Theory were going to win both chambers. So, I mean, the winners are kind of predictable when you go into WrestleMania almost. Because it's like, well, it's shaping up this way, so it has to be these people to win.
I don't know. It feels less fun this year, but probably because we're not going and it's on at 5 a.m. Instead of being a really fun event to go on a Saturday night at the Bell Center in our hometown, it's, 5 a.m. and maybe we'll wake up early and watch it on a Saturday morning. Not as fun. Not as fun, WWE. Okay. Huh?
I don't think you'll get up at 5 in the morning to watch it. But okay.
I might. I was up at 4 a.m. today. I'm up
not to watch
early.
Wrestling.
I'm an early... I wake up early now. I don't know. I wake up very early, so I might actually be awake to watch this thing live. Honestly, it's possible.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially if we do an early show next week. Like, it could happen. Okay. WWE Chamber next week. It's all good. It's all fun. The Rock is back. Let's go over to AEW and what's happening there. Dynamite this week. Jon Moxley, Dax Harwood. What'd you think?
Physical. Intense at moments, yeah. Surprising it wasn't the main event. Because I felt the card wasn't particularly strong, and that was probably the strongest match they had on it. But
okay.
What was stronger than
I like the main event. The main event was pretty cool.
Yeah, but star power wise, I mean, the match type and what happened in the match, sure, but star power, it did not have the star power.
But I don't know how you follow Matt Taven, Orange Cassidy, Texas Death. The bloodbath that it was, the bumps that both guys were taking, it was nuts, John. I don't think you can follow that. It's very hard. If you gave us a Texas Death match right off the top, you'd be like, I can't believe they started the show with that. No one could follow it. It should have been main event. I disagree with you, John. I think Texas Death, a gimmick match like that, all that blood, all that stuff, it's a title match too. I think that was the main event. That made sense to me. But Orange is a star. People say, who's your favorite wrestler in AEW? People say Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it was bad or anything. I'm just saying I feel Jon Moxley is a bigger star than both of those guys. And there's no offense to Matt Taven or Orange Cassidy, but Jon Moxley, I would say, argue is the biggest star in AEW history. And
and who did Orange Cassidy beat at the last pay-per-view?
Yeah, that's nice and all, but
who did he beat, John? Who did he beat?
Yeah, he beat Moxley. That wasn't the last pay-per-view, by the way. It
wasn't?
He wrestled Eddie Kingston last pay-per-view.
A pay-per-view before that, then. God damn it, John. You know what I mean, John? Anyways. I thought the match was pretty good, though, between Mox and Dax. Mox choked out Dax for the win, held the choke after the bell, which made Cash Wheeler jump and attack Moxley like it was all friendly and respectful before the match, but then Mox held on to the choke afterwards, and Cash attacked, but then Claudio attacked Cash and hit him with the neutralizer, so we're starting a little bit of a Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR thing, which could be good.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know where we're going with this, but
no.
Okay, I'm guessing a 6-man probably at Revolution, and that's fine, but I don't know much more off this you can get because Bryan Danielson is already wrestling Revolution.
He is?
He's wrestling at Kingston for the Continental Championship.
He is?
That's been confirmed. Yeah, it's happening.
When did they confirm that?
I felt it was either on Collision or it was on Dynamite.
Oh, I didn't see that. That must have been on Collision. I didn't see Collision last week.
Ah. Yeah, that match is confirmed for Revolution, March 3rd. Sting's retirement and Bryan Danielson wrestling in Kingston again.
For that Continental crown. If Danielson loses, he has to shake Eddie Kingston's hand. Okay. They also announced Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, which I think is an odd move. Don Callis saying, we can't find an opponent for Takeshita. No one wants to face him, so we have to look to within the Don Callis family, and we're going to have him face Will Ospreay, and it'll all be fine, and we'll all be friends afterwards. I don't think they're all going to be friends afterwards. I think that they put Will Ospreay in the Don Callis family way back when Ospreay wasn't really in AEW, but now that they're debuting him as a real AEW star where he signed an exclusive contract to AEW. He's not going to go back to Japan. I think now is a time to go, yeah, actually Ospreay is a babyface. He's not in the Don Callis family, and he's going to wrestle Takeshita, beat Takeshita, and then not be in the Don Callis family moving forward. I think this is kind of a way to explain him out of this group that he never really made sense in the first place.
Well, I feel also Kenny being out as well also may have helped push this. Because if you think about it, Ospreay's wrestled almost all the faces now. He's faced Jericho. He's also faced Kenny, but you think him and Kenny would at least have one more match. But now it's kind of not going to happen probably at least for another year, maybe more. So I think the alignment just works better for him as a face right now.
Yeah. So we're on the same page on that one there. Will Ospreay coming into AEW. He just had his last New Japan match a few days ago, so he's coming to AEW very, very soon. He might even be on Dynamite next week. Right?
Wow. I didn't know that was happening, but cool.
Well, if he's going to wrestle early March at Revolution on the 3rd, you would think that he might show up in the next couple of weeks to promo his match. Or do you think he'll just show up at Revolution?
I expected like a vignette or something.
Okay.
That was always expected.
I think he might have a match in AEW before he wrestles Takeshita. We'll see. Wardlow beat a jobber in a squash match with a lot of posing. It was just whatever. Daniel Garcia beat Edge by disqualification, I think.
No?
They
ruled it a no contest.
But Daniel Garcia got attacked first.
I thought Edge got attacked first, actually.
I thought Daniel Garcia got attacked first, and that's why, I thought they attacked Daniel Garcia first because they wanted to make sure Edge lost because of the ranking, so he didn't get a title match type of thing. I thought that was the move, but they said it was no contest?
They said, yeah, the commentator said it was no contest, yeah.
Okay. Because Christian and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, they all came out and attacked Edge and Daniel Garcia. No, because they were beating up Daniel Garcia, and then Edge came out with a chair, trying to save him.
Right, but they hit Edge too.
Yeah, but I think they were more on Garcia. But Edge made the save, and he had a chair, and then he was, going after Christian. But then Mother Wayne, which I think is a good name for her, she low-blowed Edge, and then Edge got beat down by the group, the heels. And then Christian hit his concerto on Edge and posed over him with the TNT title. I enjoyed that. All good. Seeing Edge and Daniel Garcia wrestle was good. The finish made sense. Edge taking a concerto. Christian with that group just looking so evil. Edge and Christian still feuding. I'm fine with it. But I think we need some sort of final match, some sort of gimmick match between the two at Revolution. Ladder match, right?
We're probably going to get that. Ladder match is my preferred choice, but it could be any kind of crazy kind of match at this point.
I'm pretty sure Edge has said he's like, I never want to do another ladder match. I feel like I've heard him say that. But, you know.
Yeah, well, wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the last match was crazy enough, but they got to do something crazier, looks like.
Speaking of crazy, how about that Sammy Guevara doing that? He does like a flip move, and he lands with his legs right in Jeff Hardy's face. Apparently, he broke his nose, possibly gave him a concussion. This is not the first time that Sammy Guevara does something absolutely reckless and injures somebody. Not even the first time he does it and injures somebody named Hardy.
Well, I don't know if you caught when he did the swanton off the top of the ladder to Jeff. He did that also in the same match.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that also happened. So I think he was trying to be like, I want to be like you, Jeff. But, he got a little carried away with it, I think. I don't think it was intentional whatsoever. It's just unfortunate. And I think a lot of it is playing into the story, though, too. That the Hardys are kind of fed up. So I think it more or less plays into it. I mean, it sucks, and I don't think they're happy about that happening. But
I mean, he got a broken nose for real.
Yeah. But I think they're going to play into it more so than, Sammy needs to be fired kind of thing, which seems to be what some people think. But I think Sammy, for the most part, I think he'll be forgiven for this.
He's a fun wrestler. He's an entertaining wrestler, but he does do a lot of stuff where you go, it's just reckless. It's reckless. You're hurting people. If you can't do the move safely every time, maybe don't do it. And it is a thing with him where you go, oh, he's hurt a lot of people doing some stuff that, maybe he just shouldn't do. And when it lands, it's fun and entertaining. But, man, he comes very, very close to seriously injuring himself or his opponent a lot. Sometimes you go, oh, Sammy almost died there. And you go, oh, Sammy almost killed that guy. And I like Sammy Guevara as a wrestler. Like, I'm a fan. I think he's good. But I can't help but notice that it's happened a few times now with him. It happens with him more than it does with most other wrestlers. So, maybe he needs to tone down his style. Maybe he needs to work on his landings. Hit the trampoline room and land on some crash pads and figure out why you can't hit that move every time and learn how to do it every time. I'm not sure what he needs to do to get it right, but I feel like he takes risks sometimes without fully thinking through the consequences, the potential consequences. And here, Jeff Hardy escapes with a broken nose. It could have been broken orbital. It could have been like a very serious concussion. Could have been career-ending. So, I just wish he'd be a little more careful. I like him. I like that he takes risks, but I wish they were a little bit more calculated. Because I feel like sometimes he just goes, yeah, fuck it, live TV, let's see what happens. Roll the dice.
The kind of style. And
yeah.
Jeff knows what he's getting into, so don't think Jeff doesn't realize what could happen. And Jeff's been on the opposite end of this before in the past as well. And he's learned from that. You got to hope Sammy learns from this as well.
For the most part, though, Jeff always put the danger on himself. If anybody was going to get hurt, it was going to be Jeff. Sammy, I feel like, flips through the air and, like, whatever limb lands, wherever it lands, so be it. It's not like, hey, if I take a terrible bump, it's cool. It's like, hey, I may put you in danger. There's a difference. If you want to put yourself in danger, go right ahead, but don't put your opponents in danger. That's not what wrestling is. So, hopefully Jeff Hardy is okay. Samoa Joe cut a promo in the ring talking about Swerve and Hangman, how they don't deserve to wrestle him because neither of them won the match last week. Shouldn't be a triple threat. Swerve and Prince Nana come out, and Swerve cuts kind of a babyface promo, says he's going to be one of the best ever, and he's been working 15 years for this moment. Swerve is the babyface here because Hangman's fully turned heel. And I like the Hangman story, the Hangman character right now. He comes out, he's like belligerent, he's upset. He says the match should be between two men that value and respect the championship. It should be him and Samoa Joe, and Swerve should be left out of it. He doesn't deserve to be in this match. Because Hangman really values the championship and everything it stands for. Hangman says Swerve was just added to their match, which I thought was a nice touch. But it is a triple threat, Swerve, Hangman, and Samoa Joe. I read a theory today about the Hangman character, and it was pretty good. It's like, he had his house broken into by Swerve.
Right.
Swerve, talked to his baby while Hangman wasn't home. And then Hangman had a match with Swerve, and he lost. And then he had another match with him, and he lost again. Imagine what that does to a man. It breaks him. It embarrasses him. He couldn't defend his family. Swerve is in his head. He can't stop Swerve. And then he has the match with Swerve last week. Swerve and Hangman go to a time limit, and Hangman says, he didn't beat me. He didn't beat me because, he couldn't bear the thought of Swerve beating him a third time, even though it looked like Swerve was a count away from beating Hangman for a third time. But Hangman is incensed. He's gone mad because he cannot defend his family. He cannot defeat the evil Swerve, who's really the bad guy in all of this, and Hangman really is the good guy. If you go back in the story, you can see why you might root for Hangman, but the people are behind Swerve, and this drives Hangman even more insane, right? If you see it from Hangman's perspective, you can see why he's going a little bananas right now. You can see why he's getting upset. It's a good story that Hangman is telling. And I saw somebody on Twitter, I wish I could give him credit for it, but I don't remember their Twitter handle. Some, wrestling fan was like, hey, look at this. Hangman has done this and this and this, and this is what's brought him to this point. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's all true. It's a good story. It makes a lot of sense. And Hangman is really delivering with this new character that he's got going. This version of Hangman is entertaining. I'm enjoying it. I like this promo from Hangman. I like the promo from Swerve. Joe held his own there too. Solid there as a champion in the middle. It was a good promo segment.
You just find the Elite are always going to see themselves as the heroes in this, no matter what story. Even in the Buck story, they see themselves as the good guys. So it's just kind of funny how that always works out.
Because they are the good guys. Because it's all Elite Wrestling. It's their show, and they're the best. Tony Storm did a short film talking about Deonna Purrazzo. Tony got her ankle tattoo altered with a knife going through the duck. She had a matching duck tattoo with Deonna, and she, I think, got real ink to alter the tattoo.
Probably, yeah. Why not?
I thought that was a very good promo segment from Tony Storm. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it was funny, talking about her teeth and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Tony Storm. Deonna said she's going to break Tony's arm at Revolution. So Deonna versus Tony at Revolution. The Young Bucks wrestled Top Flight. They won with a low blow after the EVP trigger, no longer the BTE trigger because it's not a show anymore that they have. It's the EVP trigger because they're doing the whole EVP gimmick, walking around in a white suit with Darby Allin bloodstains on it. Young Bucks, new theme song. Sounds like Roman Reigns' theme song, which Basically sounds like the Succession theme song, which I think that's what Roman Reigns' theme song was going for, and that's what the Young Bucks theme song is going for.
Thing off this was the whole Darby. Ellen.
Yeah, what the hell was that? So the Bucks are interviewed after the match, and they talk about being the number one contenders for the AEW tag team titles that are now held by Darby and Sting. And Tony Schiavone is interviewing them, and then they fine Schiavone $1,000 for speaking badly about them on commentary. And Nick kind of pushes Schiavone down to the mat, which draws a lot of heat from the crowd. They don't like that. And they each take his hand to help him up, but they look at each other like, hey, we're setting up the EVP trigger too. We could help him up, or we could just hit our finisher on Tony Schiavone, which would have been awesome. But no, Darby Allin comes out with a baseball bat, and the Bucks leave the ring. And then Darby starts talking. And I enjoyed the promo, but it was like, it was odd. It was an odd promo. Darby says when AEW started, he wanted a job there, but the Young Bucks saw nothing in him and didn't want to give him a job, but they hired their shit California crew, as he put it, all their friends. And Darby says, at least one EVP had a brain in his head, and he's not talking about Kenny Omega. So he's like, well, Darby is saying, Young Bucks, you guys are stupid. Kenny Omega also sucks, even though he's a babyface who's sick right now and on the shelf, and you're burying him as another babyface for some reason. But no, the EVP he's talking about is obviously Cody Rhodes. And then the fans start chanting for Cody in AEW. Why the hell would you cut a promo putting over Cody Rhodes in AEW, Darby? Why? Are you trying to get a job in WWE? Because you said you would never do that. You said you were AEW through and through, and WWE would never let you be what you want to be, and that's why you're AEW and this and that, but now you're like, Cody's the man. What?
Well, the promo he's trying to cut it's just a shoot. Like, this is what really happened. He's not trying to cut a promo to be like, I want to get reactions and all this. Here, I'm just going to speak the truth.
Yeah, but you're putting over one of the WWE's top babyfaces in the process.
Just saying what happened. I mean, if people react the way they react, that's up to them. But for him, he just wanted to vent.
I thought it was I thought it was a questionable move from Darby, but it definitely made me go, "Oh, what?"
It got people talking.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it got buzz, that's for sure. Darby says, you guys said it was about changing the world, but you guys aren't about changing the world anymore. You're all about an easy schedule and good money. And that's why you re-signed with the AEW, because you're getting paid and you got an easy schedule, and that's all you want. You don't care about anything. And I thought overall it was a solid promo from Darby Allin.
The best line was when he said it was all friends wrestling. Because a lot of people
that's like what Jim Cornette says, right?
Yep. And that's what a lot of people felt about it, because they got all their friends the jobs, and they even said Brandon Cutler was on the first AEW Dynamite. He wasn't,
but Darby Allin wasn't, right? That's what he was saying.
Yeah,
like I wasn't on it, but Brandon Cutler, come on, I
mean, it's a good point.
Yeah, well, they didn't know Darby Allin at that point, though. I
don't think
he was on their radar.
Darby had wrestled at that point, had he not?
I don't know. For AEW?
I felt like he was on those, Fight for the Fallen and all that stuff. Like, he wasn't a big star, but he was there. He was around.
Well, he's a big star now. And he's going to defend those tag titles with Stang at Revolution. I think he'll win, too. I don't think the Bucks are going to take the belts. I think Sting and Darby will. I think Sting will retire as champion.
Wow!
I think that's the move. You think the Bucks take it?
That. I think you build the Bucks up as this heel group, and they're just going to lose right away.
Yeah.
To Sting and Darby, Sting hasn't lost at all.
Yeah.
In AEW, which is fantastic, but if you're ever going to lose, you should lose your last match ever. No.
That's true. Sting is old school. I could see him wanting to go out looking up at the lights. Pin the Stinger. Yeah, you're probably right.
It's less messy that way, too. You don't have to worry about, like, forfeiting the titles and then give it to another team. Like, it fits better with the Bucks winning. As much as people might hate that, it actually draws attention to it, and you want to see a team beat the Bucks afterwards.
And then they just lay out Sting and Ric Flair. Just beat them up.
I see Flair actually maybe turn on Sting and join the Bucks.
Oh my God, that would be funny. That would be pretty.
Why
funny.
not?
Sting and the Bucks together, or Flair and the Bucks together would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Willow
Tyson.
Nighting. Sorry, what?
Saw Flair with Tyson. You see that?
I saw some clip of him smoking weed with Mike Tyson.
He's having fun, Flair.
Yeah, why not? Smoking weed is fun for guys like Flair and Mike Tyson and me. Willow Nightingale beats Sky Blue by pinfall after a powerbomb and some help from Stokely Hathaway, who distracted the ref when Sky had Willow beat. Willow is a babyface, but her manager helped her cheat to win against the heel. And her manager, I thought, was a heel, Stokely Hathaway, but now he's like a smiling babyface manager who I was really unaware of being in Willow Nightingale's corner. This is one of the things that I hate about AEW, is that they present Willow Nightingale and Stokely Hathaway as this team with Chris Statlander smiling behind them. And I know that Willow and Statlander have had their deal, but Stokely Hathaway, I mean, I watch Dynamite every week. From my recollection, this is the first time we've ever seen him with Willow Nightingale. The last time we saw Stokely, he was a heel manager, and now he's with this smiling, bubbly babyface women's wrestler. And no one did anything to try to explain why they're together. No one on commentary, nobody, no video package, no promo, no nothing. They just present them together on TV and expect us to know why or care. Imagine caring about Willow Nightingale and Stokely Hathaway's new partnership, but it's just the principle of the matter. When I see them come out and I go, since when is Hathaway with her? Well, what is this now? And it goes unexplained. That is garbage. I don't care if it happened on Rampage or Collision. You have to fill in your viewers that are seeing it for the first time on a Dynamite. If you've never seen this, here's 25 seconds to tell you why and who and what's going on. As they're walking down the ramp, you do a little box. You love that picture-in-picture, AEW. You do a little picture-in-picture with Stokely and Willow telling you in 30 seconds as they're doing their entrance why they are a team. And then we know. But we didn't get that. We got that arrogant AEW booking that expects AEW fans to watch all 5 hours of wrestling programming they put out every week. Which, if you are a real wrestling fan, it's 5 hours of AEW, it's 5 hours of WWE, not including pay-per-views and all that other shit. So are you really watching 10 hours of pro wrestling every week? Some are, but it's very few. So don't come at me, AEW, and say, well, how come you didn't watch all these shows? How come you don't know? Because you're putting out too much product. And as a wrestling fan, there's so much wrestling, there is no way that we're all watching everything you do so we could follow who Willow Nightingale's current manager may be. It's just annoying and it's arrogant booking. It's like, well, of course you know they're together. What do you mean? Well, they joined forces 2 weeks ago on Collision. Didn't you see that? Fuck no, I didn't see that. No one did. See the ratings for Collision, Tony Khan? See your attendance? Nobody's seeing your shit, dude.
Actually, Collision's ratings were the highest they've been in a long time, actually, last week.
Good for them. But that doesn't mean much because the ratings have been shit. If you go from like 50 people watching to 100, you double your audience, but you still don't have a lot of people watching. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. There's no Collision, by the way, this week. So
Why not?
You get a break. I guess because the NBA All-Star weekend, I guess. Because I think that's why Rampage also got bumped, was because of that.
All I know is it's UFC 289 weekend.
Well, that's what you're doing.
No, 288. Sorry, 298. What am I saying? 289, 288.
Going backwards.
298. UFC 298 weekend. That's what I'm focused on. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be live here with AJ and Freddie to do the pay-per-view watch-along. We'll be watching the UFC pay-per-view with you. UFC 298. Alexander Volkanovski, Ilya Topuria for the UFC Featherweight Championship in the main event. Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa in the co-main event. Ian Machado Gary versus Jeff Neal. And Henry Cejudo versus Merab Balishvili. UFC pay-per-view, on paper, ridiculous tomorrow night. Ridiculous card. Better than any wrestling show, better than Chamber, better than Revolution, better than anything on paper that you're going to see. You look at that UFC pay-per-view tomorrow night, and it looks like a barn burner, brother. It's going to be tremendous.
I look forward to the watch-alongs. They're always fun.
Me too. We're going to have a good party tomorrow night with Freddie and AJ. Main event of Dynamite was Orange Cassidy, Matt Taven, Texas Death Match. Orange was a bloody mess, like really, really a mess. Matt Taven took a ridiculous bump over the top rope through a table.
Yep.
That was amazing. That was Matt Taven going, I'm Matt Taven. Please watch me. I'm in the main event, and I'm going to prove to you why I should be in the main event. Which I
like Matt.
Yeah.
I met Matt. He's a great guy. He deserved that spot. He showed himself. Without question. He made the most of his moments right there.
He was a bloody mess. He went into some thumbtacks. That match was crazy. Orange Cassidy won in the end to retain the international title. Fantastic match. Matt Taven showed up and maximized his minutes. I have seen Matt Taven before. He's a talented wrestler, but this made me go, yeah, all right. I'll see more of this. The whole Undisputed Era, whatever the hell they're called right now, it's not been that fun to watch. But Matt Taven was a bright spot this week for them, so that was good. The Adam Cole stuff with Wardlow is like a total snoozer. But Matt Taven was good. But I think Roderick Strong is really the one going after Orange, right? They're going to have a match at the pay-per-view.
I'd have Roderick win the title.
At the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Orange versus Roddy Strong for the international title, officially for AEW's Revolution, March 3rd. Samoa Joe defending against Hangman Page and Swerve for the AEW World title. Should be the main event. Timeless Tony Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Deonna Purrazzo. Eddie Kingston defending the Continental Crown against Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. Will Ospreay one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita, which should be sick, right? Like, that's going to be,
of course,
really good. It's going to be very good. And Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team titles. And it's a Tornado Tag Team match, apparently.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, most of their matches have been Tornado Tag recently, so
yeah. Anything goes, probably. Should be wild.
It's the way to do it.
Those 6 matches, John, yeah, I'm invested in all of those. In various degrees for various reasons, but like that's all good stuff. Ospreay Takeshita, I'm in. Bryan Danielson wrestling anybody? I'm in. Tony Storm, Deonna Purrazzo? I'm in. Joe Hangman Swerve? Probably going to be one of the best matches you see all year. Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong should be solid. And then the tag match, Sting and Darby against the Bucks, Sting's retirement match. Like, yeah. This is a pretty good pay-per-view so far. This is looking good. Promising.
I won't be there for the post-show, but I'll probably definitely still watch the pay-per-view, regardless.
I don't think there'll be a post-show until the next day.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, it's a Sunday night. It's a Sunday night show.
It is. And I wrestled.
You wrestle, and I have to be up real early in the morning on Mondays. So I'm not staying up till 4 to 2, 3 in the morning to do AEW Revolution. Because those pay-per-views run till like midnight. I can't come on at midnight and then be on till like 1 or 2 in the morning on a Sunday night. It's not happening. So we'll cover Revolution. Maybe the next night we'll do like a special, like on a Monday night special.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, but that's Revolution. That's a few weeks away now, so we don't have to deal with that whatsoever. The task at hand is UFC 298 watch-along tomorrow night right here on the Ringside Report Network. I'll be on with Freddie and AJ watching the UFC pay-per-view with you. Johnny North, you had a match last weekend.
I did, yeah.
How did that go? And tell me first about the face paint.
The face paint. Yeah, because I sent you that photo, right?
Yeah, I saw photos of you, and I posted a photo of you on the show. I think we showed a picture of you. For what are we doing? What did we do last weekend? I feel like I did a show without you last weekend. Wrestling Uncensored.
With your brother.
Yeah.
With your brother, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like a post show because it was just me and my brother, and I was like, what pay-per-view were we on after last weekend? We weren't on after a pay-per-view. It was just me and him because you weren't there for the Friday night show. You weren't here last Friday, but I showed a picture of you in the face paint on the show last week because it was like a new look and you looked really cool, and I wanted to explain why you were out wrestling and not on the show. So what was the face paint? Because you don't usually have face paint. I like the look, though. It's a little bit Sting-ish, actually.
Yeah, I got Sting. I got Taker, the Zodiac Man. I got that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the promoter wanted a different look, had this idea, so I was down with it. I was cool with it. Try something different. I thought it looked good. I was happy with it. They were happy with it, so that's what happened.
Nice.
I mean, it's a long trip, 8 hours going to Sudbury, but it was definitely worth it.
And who'd you wrestle?
I wrestled, you probably don't know, I'm a brand new wrestler, but I was trained by Seth Rollins, actually.
Wow.
Keegan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trained by Seth Rollins in Iowa there at his place?
That's right, yeah.
Wow. That's cool. So he's an American guy or a Canadian guy?
Well, now he's a Canadian guy. Like, he's here. But before, yeah, he got trained in the States.
But where is he born? Like, where did he grow up? Canada or
Pretty
America?
sure, yeah, in Canada, yeah.
Oh, okay. But he went over to Seth
trained.
Rollins' school to learn how to be a wrestler because that's a good spot to go because Seth Rollins, right? Top guy.
I think a lot of places in the States are like that, too. Like,
yeah, but good connections.
Yeah.
Right? Seth is a good connection to have. Becky Lynch probably there, too.
Seth's great to have. You know, Cody still does it a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn's doing it with him as well. Nightmare Factory, you know.
Mm-hmm. Booker T.
And even Booker T, Dustin. That's also, I think, in Texas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great schools out there. I think OVW is still doing stuff, too, as well, teaching.
Yeah. There's a lot of good places to learn how to wrestle for sure. So you had a match with Keegan. Did you beat him?
Yeah, I didn't show you. I thought I sent you the match. I'm sorry if I didn't send you the match, but yeah.
I think you did, but it was like you sent it to me in the morning, and there was a million things going on. I didn't, I got to circle back. Sometimes you get a text in the morning, you're like, oh, okay. Like you send me a link, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch that when I have time to watch it, and then the day goes, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's why it's good just to have clips or something. I mean, the match lasted 3 minutes. It was fun, but they didn't want a long match, so they didn't get a long match. But it was a fun match for what it was. The crowd was into it. They originally wanted me to be a heel, but the crowd loved me, so I'm a babyface now instead.
Cool.
So that's still fine. And I sent you the photo today, if I'm not mistaken, that after that match, I'm right away pushed to the main event. So
what?
That's fantastic. You didn't see that? I thought I showed you the photo, no?
Well, I saw a poster. I didn't realize that was the main event.
Well, it's the title match. It's, a big gimmick match. Yeah, that's the main event. I guess you're looking for the photo right now.
I'm trying to find it. I think you sent it to me on Instagram.
I did.
Oh, here we go. What the hell? Casket match.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at you, first of all, looking like a monster, versus Magnum McLaren in a casket match for the Project X Heavyweight Championship. Wow.
Looks pretty good. April 20th, yeah.
So this was your first match?
Well, this will be my second match, this match. But yeah,
wow.
I had one match, and boom. Right away, casket match, championship match.
So you show up one time, promoters like, put the face paint on, things go well, you have a 3-minute match, you look great, and then the next time you go, you're in the main event in a casket match, which seems like a match that your character, would do well in based on how you look, you know what I'm saying? And it's for the championship, which is a good sign. I think we're looking at the next Project X heavyweight champion. Genesis, Johnny North.
I like my chances. Magnum is a fantastic wrestler. I think he's one of the best up-and-coming wrestlers. He's only 17.
What?
And he's already wrestled. Yeah. He's already wrestled some of the best wrestlers throughout the world already. And he's only 17, what he's done so far.
Oh, that's one jacked 17-year-old. How's this kid so jacked?
He's going to only get bigger. I mean, he's only 17, so
he looks about 25.
Is it more Jericho or Triple H? Everyone always debates that. I find more Jericho, but a lot of people say Triple H.
His physique looks Triple H-ish, and the hair, but his face is a little Brock Lesnar.
Really? Wow, Brock. Okay.
You don't think he looks a little like Brock?
I felt the hair was more early Jericho, but...
Yeah, the hair maybe, but the face is like Brock Lesnar on this kid. He looks like if somebody said that's Brock Lesnar's son, you'd be like, yeah, all right. Right?
I'm sure he'd love that.
He looks like he could be Brock Lesnar's son. He does.
The more you look at it, a little bit.
Right?
A little bit. But I've met him, so I feel more Jericho. But
Baby Beast, Magnum McLaren.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So
he's a Canadian kid, too?
Canadian kid as well.
Damn.
But last show, he broke his arm.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Now he's supposed to be good to go, but we'll wait and see what happens. Like, I know I'm going to be 100% going into this. Will he be? We'll wait and see.
Okay. Now, I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, you don't know anything. It's okay.
No, I don't know anything for sure, but I know how wrestling goes sometimes. And if you have a champion with a broken arm and you have a hot new talent that's got over pretty strong, you might do the old switcheroo.
It's a casket match. Anything can happen. Who knows? I have wrestled 2 times in a casket match before.
Wow.
So I have experience in casket matches.
What are you, the Undertaker over here?
Well, I wish I had a better record than the Undertaker in casket match. Undertaker is fantastic. I don't exactly have that great of a record, but I have experience in them, so it'll be interesting. They have a fantastic setup, by the way. They had over like 400 people there. Wow. And they're expecting more for this show already. So, wow, yeah, it's a far trip, but it's definitely worth it. One of the best atmospheres for wrestling I've ever been to.
Saturday, April 20th, Genesis versus Magnum McLaren in Sudbury, Ontario. If you're anywhere near there, go. Project X Heavyweight Championship. More info, Project X Tix TIX.com. Saturday, April 20th, 420, Johnny North winning a belt. Smoke a big one for your buddy, Big Johnny. Wow.
Smoke them, be gone. Yeah, I guess, sure. There's going to be a lot of kids there, so smoke it outside, but yes.
Smoke them outside, do it legally and within limits, and know your limits, and so on. But you know what I'm saying? It's 420. Johnny North's going to win a belt on 420. That's cool. I like it. All right, John. Well, that's great news. Look forward to seeing more from the great Genesis, my favorite wrestler. Also happens to be my good buddy, Big Johnny North, here on Wrestling Uncensored. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, for the UFC 298 watch-along. And we'll be back here next Friday night for Wrestling Uncensored. Don't forget, check out the Ringside Report social stuff at Dave Simon MMA on all the things, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And we'll let you know what time the show will be on, but it is tentatively scheduled for 7 p.m. next Friday for our Elimination Chamber official preview show. So instead of after SmackDown, we'll be leading you into SmackDown, but we'll have the results because it's all being taped right now. I could probably give you the SmackDown spoilers now, but show's over, so we'll save it till next week.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. We'll see you again tomorrow night here on the Ringside Report Network for the UFC 298 watch-along. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a